guys! If you're new, welcome to my channel, and if you're not, then welcome back. So just as a warning, this video is going to be long. I actually wrote down notes because I feel like this topic is not talked a lot about, and I want to see if I can change that. I'm going to be talking about postpartum depression and a little bit of postpartum anxiety, and then kind of touching on how baby blues are different than postpartum, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess we can just start getting into it right away. So what I want to start talking about first is the wonderful feeling that I felt as soon as you know what, he's awake right now. As soon as I gave birth to him, say hi. It was insane. They handed him to me. Oh, you got coughs? You got coughs? Okay. As soon as they handed him to me, it was like nothing in the world could ever upset me ever again. I was in I had pure baby bliss. I was on a baby high for sure. They handed him to me, and I mean, I could probably do a whole separate video on this, but I had some family issues during my birth. What are you doing? I had some family issues that I'm not going to get into in this video, but I actually had a lot of stuff that happened that could have caused me to be really upset, and people would not have judged me. They would have been like, yeah, you should be upset. Anyways, yeah, but all of that stuff was going on, and I couldn't even, oh, what? I couldn't even, okay, you want to go play with your toys? Go ahead. Go play with your toys. Sorry, you're gonna hear some annoying noises in the background again. But anyways, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was going on, and I definitely could have flipped out, and people probably would have been like, yep, no, you should have flipped out. But I couldn't flip out because I was just so consumed by the fact that I finally met my son that I've been carrying for 9 months, and he was perfect and healthy, and I had my boyfriend with me, and it was just a great experience. I had, his godmother with me, and I also had my mom with me, so his grandma, and I mean, just there was just nothing that could have made me more upset. And that feeling lasted, I mean, for several hours. I mean, I was really pissed off at the stuff that was happening, but I was able to just ignore it because I was just so happy that my son was born. So my anxiety, I think, started the night he was born. I remember as soon as I gave birth to him and we met him and everything, they were like, okay, well, why don't you try breastfeeding? And he latched right away. We had a great connection. He was breastfeeding very well. I was like, wow, breastfeeding's great. And then I breastfed him, and when I was done, I was like, do I burp him? What do I do? I didn't know what to do. I literally felt clueless. I felt like the worst person ever because I was like, should I burp him? And I got kind of mixed answers. They were like, well, I mean, if you want to, but a lot of times when they're breastfed, they don't need to be. And I was like, wait, I'm so confused. I always see people burping their babies. So I was just very, very confused. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna burp him. So I've been burping him ever since. I don't know. Whatever. I can't explain anything else about that. But the first night, I slept the whole night. He actually slept the whole night the first night, and that was I was like, I've got this great baby. Yeah, the second night he slept for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I actually had a nurse that came in and she was like, you've been awake for so long, do you want to give the baby to me and you get a couple hours of sleep and I'll watch him? And I was so grateful. I was like, oh my God, yes, please. I mean, like, I wanted to be with him, but I also was like sleep deprived and I just pushed a baby out of me. And I mean, if you've seen my other video, you know that I didn't really feel much from that or anything. And I mean, my epidural was mid, but I don't know, like, I was tired. My body was tired. My body was sore. My boobs are starting to hurt a little bit. And I mean, he was breastfeeding a lot. He was cluster feeding. So it was like, he would eat on one boob for like 20 minutes. And then immediately after, I'd move him to the other boob, eat for 20 minutes. And then an hour later, I feel like I'm doing the same thing again. So, that was really nice though, that I was able to get a little bit of sleep in the hospital. So the major anxiety kind of started with him sleeping. And I was really nervous that I wasn't going to wake up to him. I was really nervous that I don't even know. I was just so nervous. And it really hit me hard when all of a sudden I've got all these nurses that are willing to help me. I can push a button and they can come help me for anything. And I'm realizing that on day 3, I'm going home and I don't have these nurses anymore. And that's like a really big thing for me. I don't know. Like, I remember talking to my boyfriend and looking at him being like, what are we going to do when we get home? Like, I don't know what we're doing. I'm so confused. I don't know anything about parenting. And you would think I'd had like 9 months to prepare for it. I was so excited to be a mom and everything, but I felt completely unprepared. Putting him in his car seat. I hate still to this day, I hate putting him in this car seat because I feel like I'm always doing it wrong. I've definitely done it wrong in the past. I've had people even point it out to me, and it sucks because I'm like, it's something I am really anxious about, and while I do want somebody to tell me, it's hard. So bringing him home was I had a lot of anxiety bringing him home. We brought him home, and I mean, there was that one incident with the red dots, and I thought he was allergic to my cats. There was another incident where his godparents came over, and they were, Ronnie, my boyfriend Ronnie, was outside in the garage with his friend, and, well, Ronnie 3's godfather. And I was inside with his godmom, and all of a sudden his skin just like turned red. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Why is he's turning beet red? Is he okay? What's going on? And I literally freaked out. Like, I started hyperventilating. I looked at my friend Allie, and I was like, what in the world do I do? Like, I am so scared right now. And then it just stopped. His skin went back to normal. I was like, okay. And then I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, now why did that happen? It was so quick. What did he have a hot flash? What's going on? And he's 3 days old. So I have no idea who he is as a person. I mean, I know him a little bit, I guess. I don't know. His mouth's been on my nipple. That's about as much as I know about him. I was really nervous because we brought him home and he was eating and he was spitting up quite a lot. And I thought he had like acid reflux for the longest time. One time, actually I think that was like the 5th day, he was like 5 days old, I fed him and I put him in the car seat after I fed him, like probably like 10-15 minutes after I fed him, which maybe was too soon, I don't know. And he projectile vomited or like spit up, I don't know. It literally shot like across my family room, and I was like mortified. I literally started crying. I was like, oh my God, he's sick. Something's wrong. He's so sick. And then it just got to a point where, again, it came back to the burping. I'm like, did I not burp him enough? He burped. I don't know what to do. There was a lot of stuff that I just felt like I didn't know what to do. And I just want to bring it up because I think a lot of new moms go through this where they don't know what to do. They don't know what they're doing. They feel clueless. They feel like they're not fit for this life. And that's not true. It's not true. You will start to get the hang of it, you will start to feel better. I mean, car rides were something I was super anxious about. I always sat in the back for like, I think the first month of his life. I sat in the back because I was terrified he was going to spit up and choke and then die. Literally. I know it's like kind of intense, but these are real thoughts that I had in my head. I've thought of like inventions, like they have the owlet sock, which we have because I was nervous. I've thought of like inventions where people can basically create an owlet sock but for the car, so people don't have to stress and wonder while they're driving if their baby is breathing or not. I mean, because I would look in my little mirror that I can see and like his head would fall forward, and then I hear horror stories about babies that their heads fall forward and then their airway gets closed and then they suffocate, and I just that scares me, and I can't be the only one. I cannot be the only one that like looks at the mirror and goes, oh my God, is my baby breathing? I cannot be the only one. So maybe one day I'll be a entrepreneur and I'll make a product. Yeah, I was nervous about him spitting up in the car and like choking on it, and then, or like me not being able to get back to him fast enough. I was also, another thing, I actually didn't write this in my notes, but another thing that really gave me a lot of anxiety, especially when he was younger, was when he would cry in the car, because he would cry and he would do like the like that type of breathing, and it literally made me feel like he was gonna just like he was like hyperventilating. It was just like so scary. I hated it. I remember I pulled over in multiple gas stations and just took him out and held him just to be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Another big topic to talk about that I think really does coincide with anxiety and depression is sleep. Let's be serious. A lot of moms, almost every single mom, goes through sleep deprivation with a newborn. And I truly believe that is where a lot of it comes from. I think people are irritable. I think people are tired. And I think people are just, they're sleep deprived. There's really no other way to put it. And I mean, that makes a person cranky. That makes a person upset. That makes a person sad. That can make a person just not feel good about themselves. And it can also start to trigger other depression symptoms. Like, I, for example, wouldn't get a lot of sleep at night. So then I'd fall asleep during the day, and then during the day I just wouldn't take care of myself. I wouldn't really eat. I wouldn't really shower or anything for myself. And I think that was another reason why I needed to stop breastfeeding, because my milk supply was really low. I developed mastitis in I think in my left boob. I just grabbed my boob. I developed mastitis, which is pretty, I don't want to say it's pretty common, but a lot of women and moms develop it. Women. You only develop it if you're a mom, I think. I actually don't know. Can you get clogged milk ducts later on in life and develop mastitis? I really don't know. Anyways, so that was another reason why I stopped breastfeeding, because my supply was low and it was hurting really, really bad. Plus he was unhappy. Like, he would be trying to get milk, and I think my supply was low, and so he wasn't getting full. So then by the time I switched to the other one, I couldn't like deal with it anymore. So I'd pull him away, and then he'd cry and I'd cry, and then I was like, that's it, we're switching to formula. And literally the day we switched to formula was a miracle, because he was just he took formula so well and really liked it, and I literally kind of feel like we bonded a little bit better. And I know I talked about that in in one of my other videos, but I just wanted to, it kind of coincides with this. So sleep was definitely something that I lost out on a lot, and I do think that was a big reason for my postpartum, for how bad it was. I want to talk about more of like the postpartum feelings that I actually had, and this is where the video can get kind of personal for me. So there's a couple topics here like that I have in my notes that they all kind of coincide together, but okay, so my postpartum depression affected a lot of my relationships with people. I really feel like I turned a lot of family and friends away from me. And that's not to like blame myself or anything, because I get it, but I also do want to take responsibility for it at the same time, if that makes sense. So I was depressed before being pregnant. I've been depressed for years. I've known that I should do something about it, and I just don't, because I'm afraid, or I was afraid of medication, and I was afraid of, just dealing with it, I guess. And there are times in my past where I've been suicidal and other things like that. I've been to outpatient programs to help me, and those programs actually really have helped me. I would say that my depression is a lot better now than it was almost 4 years ago. So that's I would say a pretty big thing for me. But okay, let's split it up into two. Family first. Family. So I had some issues with my family that I'm not going to get into, because I don't really think it needs to be out there for everybody. The people that were around, they know. But I had some issues with my family, and it caused a lot of fights and arguments, and it really brought me down, because I feel like that a family member that was supposed to be there for me and supporting me and understanding that this was my time, I'm having my baby. I feel like they should have just respected that instead of trying to make it about them. And again, those of you know who that person is, and I really don't have to say anything. I mean, it's those of you who know me know who it is. It's a pretty close family member, but that's okay. We're working on our relationship a little bit right now, but it's still a work in progress. Anyways, so family, it kind of like, there was some stuff going on between me and my mom that was a little difficult. There was stuff going on where my boyfriend and I were fighting a lot, because I just was constantly upset. I was constantly screaming, constantly crying, constantly just down. And a big part of it was that I made myself the victim. And I expected really nothing to change with like my life. And that was the wrong thing to expect. And that's why I want to take blame. Because I definitely expected a lot of my friends to be there for me, especially because of like how many people showed up at the hospital and how many people were there supporting me for little Ronnie's birth. It kind of felt like afterwards, everybody just dropped off the face of the planet. And I mean, they kind of did, but it probably just felt that way to me because it was such a, like I just went from having a baby one day, and then all of a sudden the next day I have this life that depends on me. And so I probably didn't even realize that I'm not even really doing my part to keep up with my friends or anything like that. And so I had some really tough times where I was being really immature on social media and complaining that a lot of my friends weren't checking up on me, that people weren't checking up on how I was doing, that people weren't coming out and seeing me. I was really upset about it, especially because a lot of people said that they were going to do that. And a lot of people kind of had to be like, yo, Haley, you need help. You're going through something serious right now. You need some serious help. And I got some negative comments too. Like sometimes I would be like, I'm just not feeling myself today, or I'm feeling very depressed. And, somebody would comment on it and be like, you just had this new baby. What could you possibly be sad about? And it's like, that's something that I did want to touch on. That is so rude. I mean, you have no idea what a person's going through, and just because they had something tremendous happen to them, the birth of my son is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be sad, and that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be depressed, and that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have bad days. I'm thoroughly allowed to have all of that, and it really pisses me off when people say things like, well, you just had this new baby, what could you possibly be upset about? What if I had put my dog down? you know, or what if somebody just stole my wallet because I just had a baby? Never mind. That's besides the point. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this video, is because I want to spread awareness. I want people to understand that postpartum depression is real. It makes people feel like they are worthless. And that's what happened to me. So anyways, I started telling myself that my friends didn't like me, that they now hated me because I was this mom, that they didn't want to spend any more time with me because I didn't have anything in common with them. And I took it out on them. I freaked out. I was like, where the heck are all of you? Oh my gosh. Like I went a little crazy. I will be completely honest. And one night I got into a huge fight with my boyfriend, and I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said. Not like mean, like not like, you know, nice burp. Not like, you know, like I wasn't calling him names or anything like that, but I was like, maybe we shouldn't be together because I'm just messed up in the head and things like that. And I was this close. I started to pack my stuff because I was going to go check into a mental health facility. I was really not feeling good. I laid on my bathroom floor and I cried for like 3 hours. And, sorry. I like think about that, and I don't ever want to feel that low ever again. I think the hardest thing that I struggled with is that I just felt lonely. Okay, hold on. I don't want to cry. Okay. I just felt lonely. I just felt like I had nobody. And that feeling sucks, especially when you're not alone. I had my family. I had my boyfriend, who was so supportive and would do anything I needed. You know, I had my mom, who was wonderful to me. I did have a few friends that I could reach out to and say, hey, I could really use somebody to talk to right now, or, you know, and those people know who they are, and those people are great. Thank you for sticking with me through that really hard time for me. It was rough, and I don't ever want to go through that again. I often felt worthless. I felt empty, just like I'm not good enough. I felt like everything I was doing, I was making a mistake. I still feel like that sometimes now, you know, where like I don't know if I'm feeding him correctly. I don't know. I don't know if he's, you know, I think he's hitting milestones at a good rate. I don't know, but I just take it day by day. And my thing is if he's breathing, smiling, happy, then I must be doing something right. He makes me not feel empty and worthless anymore. He makes me feel like I have purpose. And that is something that I didn't feel like I had before him. I felt like I just wasted space on this earth. And now that I'm this mom, I just want to have more babies and feel this great about all of them. And it's just kind of funny. But anyways, going back on topic, postpartum depression also kind of goes along, I think, with your postpartum body. Let's see, when I first got pregnant, or my pre-pregnancy weight was 100 pounds. And then, 109 pounds. And then my first trimester, I dropped down to 100 because I was puking so much. And then my third trimester, or like when I gave birth, I was 156 pounds. And then now I'm 119, which I feel very good about. I felt like I was way too skinny beforehand. So I like the weight that I'm at now. I didn't do anything. However, I am thinking of starting a workout routine because I am tired of sitting on my butt all day and not doing anything when I could be doing something and making myself feel more healthy and better. But anyways, it was a postpartum belly. It's kind of funny. Like, a lot of people, their stomach just goes down, or a lot of times they still have this like pregnant belly for, I don't know, weeks sometimes. My belly went down. I looked like I didn't have a baby. Like I didn't have a bump anymore. But when you like looked at my belly, like I could jiggle it like this, and like it would just like wave. I have a video. I'm gonna insert it. But it would just like wave, and it was just like it made me laugh. Let's see. Another important thing that I want to talk about is self-care. Self-care is super important after you have a baby, and I wish I would have done it sooner. Oh, I really do. I wish I would have done it sooner. And like, I mean, just literally taking care of yourself, like showering more regular, brushing your teeth more regular, like literally just doing all the things that you're supposed to do every day. I mean, those things, I slacked on those things like crazy when I was going through postpartum. I felt like I couldn't even brush my hair, which I still have a problem with now. Brushing my hair is just like, oh God, I hate it. I'd just rather put it up. But anyways, I wanted to like kind of bring up a little something that I did. Like a lot of people don't know about it. But I did okay, I'm probably gonna say this wrong, so I'm super sorry if I sound uneducated, but whatever. I did a boudoir, I don't know. One of those fancy, sexy lingerie shoots. I did one of those for my boyfriend for his Father's Day gift, because I thought, one, good way to make me feel empowered and good and, you know, confident in my own body, and two, my boyfriend's always asking me to send nudes. I mean, it's a joke, but I just thought it would be kind of funny. So I, not the gift funny, but like just, you know what I mean? I knew it would be something that he would appreciate. So I want to give credit to who my photographer was, Gina Biello. You are wonderful. Please hit her up. Check out her Instagram, G-String Photography. I'll link it down below, but she's really good. And I mean, I definitely feel like I had a good time. I had a really fun time. I did it with one of my best friends, and I had a really good time. It made me feel really good. And that was just, I also, I mean, you know what? Not even as a postpartum thing, I highly recommend every woman does one of those shoots, because I really think it can be good for your mental health and your confidence. I didn't even know I could like pull off looking the way I did in some of those photos. And I mean, I'm not gonna post them, but I mean, like, some of them I feel like I just look awkward in, and then other ones I'm like, damn, like, hey Haley, you look good, like, all right. You know, I don't know, I just think that everybody should try it, and I really think that everybody should go check out Gina's page. She's really good. And yeah, so there's that. I think the only other thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about two different things. So let's see, baby blues and postpartum depression, two different things. Baby blues are pretty normal for just about everybody to experience. Postpartum depression does not hit everybody, which is another reason why I think that it should be talked about, because awareness should be really spread about it. Because I mean, I know I can't be the only mom who's laid on the bathroom floor crying, wanting to take my own life, because I've never felt so lonely before in my whole life. And like, I felt like I understood why people commit suicide. And so many people, so many moms, you guys, commit suicide related to postpartum depression, and that is so sad. Check in on your mom friends. I mean, I'm not saying like any of my friends are bad, but honestly, check in on your mom friends, especially when their baby's new. I mean, you would not believe how reaching out to somebody could change their entire day. You really could not believe it. And that's like just some advice I have, is that if you know any new moms, please check on them. Just check on them. Make sure they're okay. Ask them if they want company. Ask them if they need help with anything. Ask them just how they're doing. Just do human interaction with them. As a baby blues, sorry to get back on topic, baby blues are more like, you know, you're just kind of sad, you know, you're not pregnant anymore, now you have this baby, there's no more baby movements in your belly, and while it's all exciting because they're really here, you still miss being pregnant. You still miss, like, you kind of miss the hospital setting, you kind of miss, like, all of that. And that's where I think baby blues kind of comes in, whereas postpartum depression is, you know, feeling like you're worthless, feeling like you don't have a connection with your baby, feeling like you don't have a connection with yourself or anybody else, or, you know, feeling like you're just cry 24/7, feeling like everything is gonna blow up. It's hard. It's really hard. As an update of how I'm doing now, I'm doing a lot better. I did get on medication. And if you're interested, I was on Abilify. Well, first I was on Geodon and Prozac. Prozac for the anxiety, Geodon for my bipolar disorder. But Geodon was causing me to twitch. So, like, I'd be sitting there and literally I'd just go, and it was kind of irritating. So I switched to Abilify. And I had no problems since I switched to Abilify. However, I actually had to stop my medication, which I'm actually going through a really rough time right now because I did not want to stop my medication, but I'm financially unstable at the moment, and I owe my psychiatrist a lot of money. So I have to wait until I can pay them to get back on medication again, or possibly find a new psychiatrist and then pay them back when I can. It's going to be tough, but coming off the medication has been a little bit rough for me, but I do want to say that going on the medication was wonderful. I really don't regret it. I think it really helped with, like, a lot of the issues that I was having, especially because I had issues before pregnancy, so I knew I should have done something about it. I mean, hello, I have bipolar disorder, you know, and taking those medications can really help, you know, lessen that postpartum. And I really think that now, while I am struggling with not being on medication, I do think my postpartum is over. I really hope I'm not speaking too soon. But I think my postpartum's done. I haven't really been upset about anybody not hitting me up because I've finally started to realize, like, everybody's got their own lives, and when people have time, you know, we'll figure it out, and it's fine. And I've got to consume my life with my kid. People got to consume their life with their work, their school, their kids, whatever it is that they're doing, and that's okay. And we'll make time when we can make time. But I just really wanted to touch on a few of those things and just let you know. One, I kind of want to know, like, comment down below. Let me know if you were feeling the same things when you went through postpartum, or maybe things that you're afraid of if you're pregnant now, if you're going to be a first-time mom. You know, what kind of postpartum things you're afraid of, and maybe I can try to help you, you know, with some tips of how to try to combat your postpartum. I mean, I don't think that there's a way that it's unavoidable. I mean, obviously you can just not have postpartum, but I'm saying, like, if you're gonna get it, I don't think that there's a way to just make you not have it, but I think that there are ways to boost your mood and boost how you're feeling, which is your mood, so I just repeated the same thing twice, whatever. But I think that there are ways to just improve your mental state of mind, where maybe you might still have postpartum, but it might not hit you as hard as it would have. I just want to know what you go through, how you dealt with it. And I also really want people to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. And if you ever need anybody to talk to, there's always resources. I can be a resource. You can hit me up anytime. I'm always looking for new people to talk to, especially because I'm alone most of the day anyway. And I'm always down to talk to anybody who feels like they need somebody to talk to. And if you're ever afraid of making that next step, or going to a therapist, going to therapy, trying medication, not trying medication, just, you know, maybe doing things like, I don't know, me, right now, I'm not on my medication and I'm struggling, but I'm using YouTube because YouTube is really helping me, and it's making me feel like excitement about something. So it kind of takes my mind off of how I'm feeling. And, you know, I kind of want to know what you guys do. So, sorry, I know that was kind of long and drawn out, but I really do appreciate it. If you made it all the way through this video, please, please, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I will be doing videos pretty frequently until I get a job, but then I'll have more of a schedule, but I'm trying to upload almost every day. So please subscribe, hit that little bell button so you actually get notifications when I post a video, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!